I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. Stop agreeing with yourself. Stop agreeing with yourself.
Hello and welcome to Glass Half Full Reviews. And today I'm going to be trying again to have one of my super fast spoiler-free reviews. Now last time when I did my X-Men Days of Future Past review, I accidentally revealed a few spoilers. Now the truth is, I don't think anyone's going to care about spoilers for this movie, but whatever, do my best. So today I'm going to be doing a quick review of Blended. Alright, so I know most people haven't seen this movie, and that's fine, because the movie, I can already tell you, is not so good. This is a movie from Adam Sandler, and let me just go into what actually works. So what works is, there's some points at the beginning, during the setup for this kind of stupid movie, where Joel McHale and Wendy Covey have some funny scenes where they're as sort of friends and adversaries of some of the characters played by Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore. That was kind of funny. And I actually did like when Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler go to the country of Africa. And I say that sort of facetiously, but not really, because they go on this trip and they never say the name of the country they go to. They just go to Africa. So it might as well just be country of Africa. But there were some couples that they met. And one of the interesting ones was played by Kevin Nealon, of course, also from Saturday Night Live, around the same time as Adam Sandler, and Jessica Lowe, who is really kind of a newcomer to movies. And this couple I thought was very interesting. They had a very interesting, dynamic relationship. They were pretty funny. It had a kind of interesting, healthy aspect that was the most consistently entertaining part of the movie. Of course, another thing I need to point out is how Terry Crews is horribly, horribly wasted. He's a very, very talented comic performer. He was great, of course, back in the day, and Everybody Hates Chris. And more recently, he's also great on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Great actor, great performer, very funny. Terribly used in this as sort of a Greek chorus with Ladysmith Back Mombazo kind of vibe, but it ends up being kind of racist, so I didn't really care for that. All right, now, I'm not really going to get into the story because it's a stupid story, and I'm going to explain that in a second anyway when I do my 5-point breakdown.
5-point breakdown.
Okay, so Adam Sandler is fine. He has a few moments where he almost acts in some way at all, where he almost tries. Drew Barrymore tries a little bit more, but not much. I already mentioned how some of the side characters are fine. The kids, the kids in this movie, meh across the board. Nothing too great, nothing too interesting. I mean, there's a few times where they tried for a little bit of pathos. The older kids are slightly more okay, I suppose. The younger kids are all way too precocious and super annoying. Can't necessarily blame them because of how they were probably directed and written. So, in general, the acting is... Alright, let's move on to number 2. Which, of course, is the huge deficiency with this classic Adam Sandler romp. Because the story is really stupid. It's a bunch of contrivances. How Adam Sandler, who is a single father raising his girls, who are basically tomboys because he's forced them to be like that. And Drew Barrymore, who is another single parent, raising her boys, who are weird in different ways. And blah, blah, blah. They end up going to Africa together on the same stupid cruise. And blah, blah, blah. They help out each other, obviously. You can see the exact ways that this movie is going to go. And it had a chance to be a funny story. It just wasn't. The jokes really were not that funny. That's the real problem. I mean, when you're talking about a comedy and it's not funny, that's a problem. So I admire a lot of the little things that almost worked here. But so much did not work, I had a real problem with that. So... let's get into number 3. So, the movie looked fine. Totally serviceable. No problems here at all. I mean, it was actually nice to see some of the interesting things in Africa. I guess you could say that was probably one of the highlights of the movie. It did have some very nice looking scenes, some natural shots of some animals and things like that. Even if some other parts of the movie are very claustrophobic and cloying, I guess some scenes actually work pretty well. So, let's get to number 4. So... when I left the theater, I said, well, that fire alarm that went off in the middle of it, because a fire alarm went off in the middle of the screening, and I had to leave and then come back and say, all right, gotta finish this thing. Gotta finish this movie, because I refuse to walk out of a theater. That is sort of against my principle of watching movies. And I did watch the end of it, and it was very predictable. It was not entirely devoid of any enjoyment at all, but it was mostly devoid of it. So I walk out thinking, oh, Adam Sandler. Yeah, just disappointing. Just disappointing because The first time that Drew Barrymore and Adam Sandler collaborated with The Wedding Singer, which I still think holds up, is a fantastic, funny, charming movie. And they had a follow-up, which was 50 First Dates, which I think is underrated, has a lot of comic charm as well, a lot of funny moments. Sure, there's some stupid stuff, but I think it's mostly pretty decent. This is just not so good, you know? They have some chemistry already built in, but that's not enough for us to want to root for these characters. So that moves on to number 5. And the funny thing is, because this movie, it didn't do that well. So you might think, oh, that probably means Adam Sandler isn't going to try again. No, he will. He's going to try again. And it's not going to be very good, but what are you going to do? I mean, you know, he has a lot of talent, but I don't really feel like he's using it very well in this sort of thing. It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. I think Adam Sandler does have the talent to be a very funny filmmaker. He's just not using it. So, do I recommend this movie? No, I don't. If you want to see any kind of connection between these two, just go watch The Wedding Singer, or if you were sort of tired of that one, try 50 First Dates. Maybe it's not as bad as you think. You know, it's possible. All right. So ends my super fast spoiler-free review, and I'm pretty sure I didn't actually give any spoilers this time. So, all right, 1 for 2. Thanks for stopping by.